Good morning, good morning, good morning. Merry Vlogmas to you. I'm very excited. Can you tell? I got some rest. I got some rest and I have a plan. Shot list. So now that I have a plan, I'm able to really get myself, because I had all these ideas and it's like, how am I going to put it together? And now I'm just going to get on here and start going through all of the subjects that I kind of wanted to share with you and have been an amalgamation. I just love that word. I love saying it. But, and the more I say it, the more it's, becomes part of my vocabulary. And we're going to be talking about vocabulary over here as well, because it's really important, especially when you're trying to get into like more corporate types of positions, being able to articulate yourself, better. I can speak Ebonics if I need to, and again, I can speak to the captain of 747. So let's get into. Oh well, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not reading this off for you. This is for me, but this is exciting. So right now, I'm about to hop in the shower, rub myself down with some salt. I've got my black lava salt and my Himalayan salt, and so I just do that every morning now instead of, because the bathtub just drives me crazy. But I'll probably take like 2 spiritual baths a week, but just on the daily, I just rub that all over my skin before I shave, and then I continue on with my soap. So just a heads up for y'all that are just really looking for, and I've got a couple of products that I'll be coming out with that are a little bit easier, right, to make sure that you're keeping up with your spiritual hygiene, your auric field. If you don't want, let's start getting out of the word spiritual, but your psychic hygiene. So salt cleanses very, very well. It also protects really well. And the first time I use it, I can't even, that's a story time. Maybe I'll talk about that when I decorate the Christmas tree. I forgot to write that down. And I'm staring right at it. Decorate tree. We'll do a story time. Decorate tree and talk salt cleanse, maybe. I don't know. I'm so over talking about the spiritual, like all of that stuff, that I'm kind of over it right now. I just want to talk about fun things. That's why I cut out all of those shorts and stuff like that of me hollering, letting people know what's going on. It's like now everybody has the information they need. I'll be exploring more and deep diving even more and doing more detective work over on the podcast when that gets up and running. But right now, we have committed to Vlogmas. We have committed to spaghetti Vlogmas, because we are throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks this month. And then that will determine the next 3 months of content for 2025. So I say kind of cutting it close, but obviously something's going to pop off more than another thing, right? So, and then I'll be able to have analytics, and it'll be the first time that I've posted consistently, other than shorts. TikTok, the first time that I started teaching myself how to even make a TikTok. I made a TikTok a day, and then I learned how to do like little voiceovers, and that was a couple years ago, and I was all into Gary Vee, and he's like, I ended up getting like 8,000 followers over on Clapper. I think I mentioned this, in like 6 months, just posting every day and 3 times a day, and that's why I'm pretty sure I'm shadow banned over on Instagram, or it could be the hijacking of my... That's probably it, more than likely. I don't know how many different accounts. Here's the deal, is like, especially going on in 2025, well, not even, I will not be doing readings unless they're live on Zoom and I'm face to face with the person, and you best believe I will pull cards on you before I pull cards for you. So I won't have any of the shenanigan stuff of people saying that they got false readings from me and all this other stuff. I don't do anything unless it's face to face, or if it's on video. If you've gotten a reading from me and you don't see my face on a private link on my YouTube channel that you're watching me on or right now from before, then you did not get a reading from me, because I won't do anything. People can do readings. You can plug in cards to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can read your cards. Okay, because they are archetypes, right? What I bring in is all of the clairs, right? And the remote viewing and all of the good stuff, right? So anybody, you can go ahead and try and this is where people don't realize is as long as you're standing in your authenticity, people cannot copy. They can try and copy what you're doing, right? And always be careful and protect your intellectual property and know what intellectual property is. Have a, don't be going around and say, oh, I have a great idea for Shark Tank and tell all your friends. Somebody will rip that off in a heartbeat. So, just make sure. I'm like, oop, squirreling out. All right. Let me get back to center. Let me go ahead and take a shower. Then I keep forgetting to, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm getting the Vlogmas up. And just been going through a lot, just energetics and trying to get all this stuff, this is manifestation. So it takes a lot out of you when you're trying to get all the things up into the air. But right, with Saturn going forward, and just the astrological weather is leaning towards trying to make sure that everything is done. And see, these are all projects. People are like, don't start a project in Mercury retrograde. I've been working on all of these projects for months, if not years. So I'm very comfortable. Actually, I thrive, other than the trouble articulating and iterating words, and a little bit more dyslexia than usual. Mercury retrograde, I have found, has actually been just a beautiful thing, because it gives you a time to tweak. It gives you an opportunity to course direct, and it comes around 3 times a year, right? Every 90 days, I reassess where I'm at. And if it's something's making me happy or anxious or anything, my living situation, the people I'm around, well, I'm not around people anymore. That just eliminated that. I'm around y'all. I'm around, like I said, I surround myself with the greats. I listen to master classes and I listen to tarot readings so that I don't have to pull cards myself. I have my colleagues and my friends out on the internet that make sure I'm abreast of everything that's going on so that I can keep moving forward. You cannot get distracted. This is not the year for distraction. This is a very, very auspicious year. We're going into the 7 and then we're going into the 8. Okay, we just talk about numerology with the 2 and the 5, just talking about those numbers. Again, I don't know much about, wait, it's not going in that. We're at the 8 and then we're going, into the 7 next year, right? Is that right? Anyways, I know it's the 7 year and it's luck, right? It's the divine number. And so you just want to make sure that you're already on the mindset and you're not trying to start in January 6th, because people are getting on this train. And if you are over the age of 40, actually, if you haven't started a YouTube channel, what are you doing? I'm going to talk about DoDash, okay? Go check her out. She's an Uber driver or a delivery driver, and she started, and she's up to like 67. Now she's kind of lost her mind. I think it's gone to her head. Like 70,000 subscribers, just yelling at people and encouraging them to get onto YouTube from her car. No editing, nothing. People, small creators are blowing up. That they're talking about it being easy mode, that what they're saying is you don't need all of the back. I'm just, I'm an artist at heart. I'm a photographer, right? And so I love things, especially backgrounds, to be aesthetically pleasing. This is $10 from Amazon. This, I dumpster dived. That we got at the auction. I got a bunch of the LED lights at the auction for like $10 that I got everywhere, right? That I throw in the plants, the bottles and everything like that, and make things pretty. That's it, right? You just have to trust that. And if you don't feel like you can design like that, do something like Joanna, from Magnolia, Homes, the designer. They're in Waco. Chip and Joanna Gaines. She just put a class on Masterclass. I mean, right now it's going to be on sale probably through the end of the year. It's what a gift. Spend $60 and give somebody all of these courses by the masters. And I'm going to try and get sponsored by them, but I'm not sponsored. But I mean, you've got Morgan Freeman, all of these, Shonda Rhimes, and now doing full courses on how they go about their process. Models, Naomi Campbell, right? Acting, actors, screenwriters. And it's so well produced, right? So instead of listening to the Housewives of Atlanta, why don't you turn something on that, first of all, and there's so much in there, right? That you're gonna find something you're interested in. Even if you want to write the new Grey's Anatomy, right? Turn something on, dedicate just a half hour of walking or whatever it is, sitting around, stop the scrolling and listen to while you're in the shower. Just listen to something that isn't the news, or I mean, just educate yourself. Start and start enjoying it, right? I mean, that's the thing is, I love to learn, right? It's not a, I guess people used to think it was fun. No, it's basically a coping mechanism, right? To keep my mind busy from a lot of trauma that I've been through, right? And a lot of shenanigans. So I've been able to keep myself focused by focusing on the things that I love. And I love art and pretty things, and I love designing things, and I love thrifting, and I love miniature things, and I love charcuterie boards. I've started to learn, well, what I like. I can say, yes, no, I want to eat there, or no, I don't want to eat there, or I feel like this, or I feel like salty, or I feel like sugar, or that looks good, that doesn't look good. No, I don't want to watch that. But I can do that in a non-combative way, right? And I can also reinforce that if someone wants to push back on that and like question me, right? And you're not going to gaslight me about what I like and what I don't like, right? But that took like 4 years of like complete like solo healing, right? Like almost 4 years of celibacy. Not even touching another human being, right? Yeah, other than maybe a handshake, but it was during, pandemic and everything like that. And I mean, it was just so, being that isolated taught me what my own energy is, right? So when people come up to me and all of a sudden I hear like some nasty words or whatever, I realize that's their energy. I'm hearing their thoughts about me, right? Because I don't speak to myself that way any longer, right? I don't know if I ever did. It's just taking on everybody. So I learned so much by go to the woods for a month and come back and see how your body reacts around the people that you live. You're like, I didn't have diarrhea up there, right? I didn't feel nauseous. I didn't feel so crappy and depressed. But it's because more than likely you're a much bigger empath or clairsentient, right? There's a difference. Okay, one is a psychic gift. The other one is I want to stop using a spiritual gift, right? Just like discernment, stuff like that. But these are practiced things, right? You're not just born with it, especially considering, the environment that you're in. And so you really have to, especially now during the holidays, right? Start paying attention to physically how people or mentally people make you feel when they walk in the room. And don't be that person, well, they come in the room and then I take on their energy. Well, that's a choice. Just because you do take it on doesn't mean that you have to wear that on your sleeve. That's something that you need to deal with. You need to realize that you're an empath and maybe you shouldn't be working in an office environment because that's going to happen to you all the time, right? Or maybe you start doing aura cleansing, right? Salt cleansing, getting your vibration higher, right? Then you're going to have crabs in the bucket because as soon as you start shining bright in an environment like that, right? So they're going to try and bring you down with probably some shenanigans. So, I mean, you gotta get a spine. You gotta grow a thick skin. You need to read the book, The Courage to be Disliked. I think that's it. I might be butchering it. And all of the things that are out there. Look into Todd Herman's alter egos. I sometimes if you don't feel like you can put those boundaries with people, if you step into like what you think like an alter ego, like Sasha Fierce, Beyonce does that with Sasha Fierce, and I think Kobe is like the Black Mamba, and but that book is fantastic. It's a really quick read. It's even a faster. I think it's only like a 5-hour listen. But if you really want to get a quick synopsis of it, you can go and just put in Todd Herman, Alter Egos. He has a really good interview with Vanessa Van Edwards from the School of People. And so you'll get a really good synopsis. But he's got a longer one, I think, with Tom Bilyeu from Impact Theory, and that's like a couple hours long, and that I think that was the one that really impacted me the most. And I started stepping into, because I was having a hard time when I was undercover in the strip club, because I just wasn't that, I hadn't been, in a eggsy nature in quite a while, and it just didn't feel right. I'd gone through my spiritual awakening. It just wasn't the environment, but I was working for interested private parties. And so when I finally created an alter ego, not just my name that I was dancing, but like stepped into it and was able to step in and out, kind of like Marilyn Monroe would talk about it. She was with this photographer, and they were out on the New York streets, and Marilyn was quite popular at the time, and nobody recognized her. And then she was like, you want to see that? And I'm probably again butchering the story, but she's like, you want to see her? You want me to see me step into her? And she just does it. She just starts walking down the road, and all of a sudden, boom, she steps into Marilyn, and everybody's eyes, they're like, oh my God, Marilyn, Marilyn. Yeah. And she just stepped, oh, I'm getting the chills. Yeah. So you'll learn more about that. We'll talk more about the mediumship and all the good stuff in January when all of the holiday stuff, you know, and I can give you some really great information that will hopefully help not scare you, because I was terrified. And I have very strong mediumship, but I thought it was possession, and it's not. Again, all of this is science. Proven science. Because I didn't believe in any of it, and I thought it was demonic, and I thought that I was possessed, and all sorts of things I had to go through and finally figure out like what was going. And so, you know, the universe brought me, God, Allah, whatever you want to believe. I believe in, because God conjures up this white guy sitting on a cloud for most people, right? And in most parts of the world, you know, with mission, the things that have happened, it's not always the greatest too. So, and everything God what I can't believe, and I get so frustrated with people, they're like, oh, astrology. And I'm like, so you believe God created everything but the planets? You don't think that he created an octopus at the bottom of the sea that's able to do all this crazy technicolor, watch that, you know, but camouflaging and this, that, and the other, and you can't believe that he created planets? Don't tell me that you don't think, you're telling me you don't believe in the Big Bang and that God created all. So what, he just put planets out there in a galaxy that didn't mean anything? And people that have been doing this on the other side of the world have been predicting things, and I mean down to the T, to like I said, the coloring, the shape of the noses, all these things for years and years and years, but you're just like, blah, 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 that couldn't help me in my business, blah, 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 maybe I'm under the weather because Mars is, you know, and what, blah, 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 I have a kid that's really, maybe they have an Aries moon. Why wouldn't you look at your child's birth chart? There are 12 aspects that could super, like, if you could just tap into your child's birth chart, you would get a scope of their operating system and realize what type of child you have on your hands and what's going to motivate them and what's not going to motivate them, because there is so much information on this. So again, and I'm passionate about it because I love having every advantage. People are like, oh, well, you're going to use your beauty for your advantage. Why the hell not? Right? Because I have been hiding behind a rock because everybody's so triggered by my face. I can't even help it. And you know what? I didn't want to stay 300 pounds. People were my friends when I was over, you know, 200, 300 pounds, right? I get skinny and everybody, oh, she thinks she's better than us. What? Because I took the fork out of my mouth? Stop bitching. Turn your attention to yourself, right? This is why people, you sit on your couch and you wag your finger and then you watch your pundits and you take their words and you regurgitate them and reiterate them as your own, right? Which become your own thoughts. You're sheeple, okay? Get a grip, folks. All right, time for me to take a shower. We'll see you in a little bit.